Hi guys, so whenever there's a problem, we can find a solution as well. And you would have noticed that currently the questions that are coming are relatively long stem. The examiner is using very perfect English. I mean, I would say perfect British English is being utilized. And obviously the quality of questions is being, top notch. So what I'm going to discuss in front of you today is a three-step guide on how to beat them at their own game. So you need to just, up your game a bit and you can obviously, score better in the paper. So the today's discussion is primarily focused on what are those three steps, and I would like you to give me about 10 minutes of your entire lifetime to hear me out so that I can give some inputs, and maybe not all of them might be very practical, but at least some of them, if you are able to apply, then I think that you will be able to increase your scores or up your game, or if you are stagnant at any kind of a GT score, then you can perform relatively better. So because I can say that these questions are like, I can think from my examiner's perspective. So that's why I'm saying that you have the capability, you have the brain power that is required to just overcome, or which looks like a unsurmountable task, but is definitely doable. So my first advice to you is that you just need to increase your concentration span, because see, I'll be honest with you, most of us, we don't have a concentration problem, we have an interruption problem. जब आप पढ़ रहे होते हो तो बीच में इतने सारे नोटिफिकेशंस आ जाते हैं, या वी टेंड टू गेट मल्टीटास्किंग एंड वी ट्राई टू यूज मल्टीपल सोर्सेज. So what happens is that the effective yield that is required of study usually does not happen. And I was also taking a couple of interviews recently and I realized that students were saying that 1 घंटे का वीडियो 3 घंटे में कवर होता है, और for that matter of fact 1 hour का वीडियो is like taking the whole day. That's because we tend to get distracted, and you have advantage that if you're touching that cursor in the middle, because when you're listening to any video lecture, you have the facility of actually touching and moving back and forth between the video. So usually we keep on doing this, guys. So my point is very, very simple, that you need to minimize your interruptions, and I'll keep it very brief to the point so that I can just focus on what is actually required. See, I can do a lot of chit chat about it, but then I'll not focus on the chit chat at the moment. I'll take questions from you guys towards the end of once I'm done the talking part. At the moment, I want to reiterate the statement. You don't have a concentration problem. You're all intelligent chaps. What you have is an interruption problem. So you need to turn off notifications, because every interruption that you do, the total time that you're going to lose and trying to get the focus back will exponentially increase. And second, मैंने बोला कि ये जो कर्सर है ना, ये आपका दुश्मन है. Like you can move forward and backward between it. So आपको लगता है कि मैं कर लूंगा, but then it takes a awfully long time. So I think if you are able to read the questions fast, because though like for NEET PG they have increased the time available, for FMG students they did not get sufficient amount of time, and the questions were like video based and all kind of things that were present. But then, as I said, the examiner is using kind of resources to up their game. I said koi baat nahi yaar, we are gonna up our game as well, right? I mean, if I have a challenge, I am gonna face it, right? That's the most important thing. Whenever you are faced with any kind of challenge, you say, okay man, bring it on. I mean, I'll be saying, okay, I'll fight it. सो एट दिस मोमेंट मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि ये जो मूवमेंट होती है ना बैक एंड फोर्थ की, ये बेसिकली मेरा सबसे बड़ा दुश्मन है. तो एक तो उसको बंद कर दो, एंड बंद करने का मतलब ये नहीं कि वीडियो बंद कर दो. व्हाट आई मीन इज दैट इसको मूव नहीं करना है. 10 मिनट में तो 10 मिनट. आई हैव टेकन लाइव क्लासेस में क्या होता है कि लाइक इफ यू लूज द फोकस व्हेन द टीचर इज स्पीकिंग, तो वो कॉन्सेप्ट गया, तो आपको पता वापस नहीं आएगा. तो यू विल सिट फॉर लाइक द होल डे. एंड व्हेन आई टेक दोस सेशंस, यूजुअली आई गिव अ ब्रेक एट एंड ऑफ 3 hours, maybe 4 hours. Nobody complains, right? That is because I have to deliver, they have to assimilate that information in the brain. तो 3 घंटे कोई हंसी मजाक नहीं होता, कोई चुटकुले नहीं होते, कोई गाने नहीं होते. इट इज लाइक हार्डकोर इंफॉर्मेशन जिसको बोलते हैं कीप ऑन हैमरिंग. सो पहला जो स्टेप है सिंपली दैट इज कैसे अपनी कॉन्सेंट्रेशन स्पैन बनानी है. सिर्फ 1x पे वीडियो देखो, और 1.2 1.5 पे मे बी, एंड ट्राई टू डू एज मच डेटा क्रंचिंग एज पॉसिबल, बिकॉज एज आई से ऑलवेज नॉलेज इज पावर. भाई जिसको नॉलेज है वही तो डॉक्टर बन के अपनी प्रैक्टिस अच्छे से चला सकता है ना. तो आपने सिर्फ ये नहीं सोचना है कि ओके आई हैव टू क्लियर एग्जाम, वो तो तुम निकाल ही लोगे. I think that all of you have that capability that you can clear an exam and you can get a rank, but then at the same time you need to be upping your game so that you can overcome the competition. So the first message at the moment was interruption problem को handle करना है. I move on to the second issue here, which is the distractors. Distraction मतलब ये नहीं कि तुम distracted हो, अब मैं उसकी बात नहीं कर रहा distraction की. I am talking about what the examiners are doing at the moment. The old hack was that whenever it's a long stem question, आपको क्या करना है कि long stem question में you just read the last line of the question. Now the trick is not working, man. वो trick नहीं चल रहा है. I was talking to students, and what I was finding in that what I was finding was that that trick usually does not work because the examiner has moved those lines, maybe उसको ऊपर move कर दिया. So what is the rule? I mean, once you distractor को identify करना तो ठीक है, but then what is the rule that is to be followed? So I think if you read the options carefully, because these options are also long stem, I mean, if deleting a sentence does not change. I'll repeat, I'll explain what I mean by this rule, that जो भी कोई statement दे रखी, उसका आप उल्टा सोचने की कोशिश करो, and like if that makes sense, okay, you will say okay, this statement is correct, and if that looks थोड़ा अटपटा सा, so that is probably the possible answer to this question. And obviously, like, you can rule out the two options, but between the remaining two, you need to use this rule. I mean, try to invert the English there, and I think that you will get a fair amount of practice from the questions that are being put out. And yeah, I think somebody put up that discussion. I'll be conducting a discussion of that mock test as well. It is scheduled for 17th. That would be 9 p.m. live in the app, when I'll be conducting that 180 wala questions discussion. Obviously, that test will be having video based questions as well. And I mean, let's see. I mean, how much do you score? Some of those are gonna be like, those topics are obviously, the disease process will still remain the same. So I can say that matter nahi karta. I mean, you need to identify the distractors. और वो पुराने वाला rule नहीं चलता है कि the last line in the question is gonna be the answer in the question, or that's gonna be where the answer is gonna be hidden. I really wish if that was true, but I need to sadly break the news before you that because they are using maybe Claude, maybe they're using ChatGPT, so they're obviously like high intellect people, and they are like trying to create that fear in our mind. But I said I am a fearless person. I will say, okay, man, bring it on, and I'll try to improve myself. So step 2 is done. Let's look at the step 3 here. I'll not focus on the questions at the moment because there are so many of them. I mean, I don't need to teach you at the moment regarding aortic dissection or CT aortography or what is type N, what is type B. But yup, you need to learn to ignore. Because in every one of these questions, what you will be having is sometimes some useless investigations given. Like, I was just taking a live session yesterday in Resolve, and we were discussing this question on Legionella pneumophila, which was a long stem question. I mean, he gave a complete blood count, LFT, KFT, pura kahani suna di. Last May, like, he started talking about electrolytes also. So since I had sensitized the students about the fact that in Legionella pneumophila question, there would be hyponatremia wala issue, or for mycoplasma pneumonia, there would be hemolysis that would be present, so elevated LDH, low hemoglobin would be present. So they were able to figure it out. So just like I keep on prompting you, okay, you need to look for this, and what you need to neglect in a question, the same thing just needs to be replicated again and again and again. And that is what we were doing in the TNE part also, that every weekend we were doing this subject based discussion. So obviously you're doing the right thing by giving these mock tests and using multiple sources, so that is all okay. But then after all, the results have to be delivered, right? I mean, if at the end of maybe listening from 2 different sources, if I'm not able to come to a correct conclusion regarding a topic, that means that there are some micro topics that I have left relatively untouched, या मेरे थोड़े से कमजोर रह गए होंगे, and that could be the reason why, like, I think my performance would be going down. So I just need to focus on, like, irrelevant medication. जैसे वो बोलेगा patient is on aspirin, statin, and maybe beta blockers, and some points of those obviously have to be taken care of. So no, it is the changes in the videos are already there, man. If you look at the latest version of Resolve, we are discussing all those things that can be put up extra. So it's already there. I mean, you don't need to think about, okay, that will come 6 months later. No, we are not so that slow. Obviously, that's already there. So if you listen to lab 2, you will notice the changes that are present. No, I don't think so. It's lagging at my end. Sometimes YouTube, Airtel at your end could be lagging. So what I can suggest you is just close the app and open again. After all, YouTube is also having unlimited resources, but sometimes their internet could be lagging as well. So at this particular point of time, I just wanted to bring to your attention 3 simple steps, which I'll just say once again very fast. One is obviously how do you increase your concentration span is try to listen to the videos at not an exceptional speed and try to rush through the data. होता ही नहीं है कभी भी complete. That's a very micro step, baby step that you need to take. Then is obviously don't look at that last line in the question. Don't try to do that. Read the question first line से last line with concentration. अगर मैं आपको बोलूँ कि आपको continuation में 180 सवाल या 300 सवाल for FMG for the matter of fact स्क्रीन पे देखने तो यार आंखें जो है ना दुख जाती. There's literally like strain in the eyes, there's strain in the neck, there is strain on the body when you sit that long. So we need to develop that capability to sit for that particular duration and keep on identifying distractors. It's like a continuous hammering that is happening for a duration of 3.5 hours or 5 hours subsequently, depending on whatever exam that you're sitting for, and you need to rule out the distractions. And then distractions I've already explained is not mobile phone of yours and not that notifications. It is that you need to invert the language in the options, and you will notice that suddenly your strike rate will improve. My guessing rate was 0, so when I realized that my guessing rate was 0, I started changing my answers and I found that my strike rate improved. I started answering ulta of that. So I mean, I need to figure out something, and then obviously like everybody nowadays uses all kind of apps, left swipe, right swipe. So I thought, what is to be left swipe at the moment? And the most important message that I want to give you at the end of today is like, whatever is your maximum is somebody's minimum, man. आप जो कह रहे हो कि मैंने 8 घंटे पढ़ाई करी, तो हो सकता है कोई यार 8 घंटे तो रूटीन पढ़ता है, जब वो ये कहता है ना कि मैं पढ़ता नहीं होता, वो 8 घंटा पढ़ रहा है, एंड देन दैट गाय माइट बी क्रंचिंग एन एक्स्ट्रा फ्यू आवर्स. सो आई वाज ट्राइंग टू पुश माय बॉयज इवन यस्टरडे व्हेन आई वाज टेकिंग अ लाइव सेशन कि चलो यार 2 घंटा एक्स्ट्रा बैठते, 1.5 घंटा एक्स्ट्रा बैठते. वी डिड दैट, एंड आई मीन दो गाइज वर एबल टू फॉलो, they were able to follow all those information that I was saying. It is just a matter of the educator or the teacher pushing you, and then you obviously need to tag along with us. But I think that is a very powerful line that I want you to remember, that हम जिसको बोल रहे हैं यार आज बहुत पढ़ लिया तो मतलब that might be somebody's minimum performance, and obviously you need to keep on doing it on a regular basis. So these are a couple of bits from my side that I actually wanted to explain to you at the moment, and if you have any queries, I'll be more than glad to assist you at the moment. But it's very much doable, man. It is very much doable. I mean, there would be no hassles for attempting questions if you are putting in hours and you are putting in your effort and you're not looking at shortcuts. Then I mean, things are definitely possible. So at this moment, okay, do I take a class or just revise notes? No, I think you see, I would like to say, okay, so you were saying without revising multiple times. मैं इसमें एक पॉइंट आपको बताता हूँ. People tend to talk about things like 4 revisions, 5 revisions. भाई इतना तो टाइम ही नहीं होता. 4 revision कैसे हो जाएगा 19 सब्जेक्ट? Even if you do one properly, that more is sufficient. No, I mean, lot of people are chasing that 4 thing and 5 thing. अब 20 pages में आप concise करके data कर दोगे तो यार नहीं हो सकता ना 20 pages से तो. So I think that multiple readings are. This is not a biology exam, right? I mean, this is not xylem and phloem. We need to get out of the mode of xylem, phloem, and that same data of biology, because biology is like ratification, but obviously in medical science it is all the permutation combinations that need to be put up. So I just can't make a generalized statement कि 25 पेज है, 40 पेज है, उससे कर लो. And like obviously minor subjects are also equally important, so we need to give them time, man. I mean, any short subject, if I'm trying to finish in 2 days or 3 days, it's not justified. They need a longer time because every subject has its own importance, and I think that there are certain subjects where you can be scoring 100%. Forensic is one such example. Dermatology is one such example where like it is very spot diagnosis that needs to be taken care of. So I think नीरज, आप मेरे को ना मेल करना, आपको कस्टम मॉड्यूल में क्या इशू आया है, आप एक बार भेज देना मेरे को. आपको क्वेश्चन सिलेक्ट नहीं हो रहे या फिर क्वेश्चन मिल नहीं रहे हैं, लाइक यू कैन जस्ट ड्रॉप इन अ मेल एट marwamedicine@gmail.com. याद नहीं होता तो वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ भाई, रट्टा थोड़ी ना लगाना है यार. तो रट्टे लगाने से नहीं होता, समझ के करना होता है ना. अब मैं आपको टॉपिक पूछूं ब्रुगाडा सिंड्रोम ARVD बताओ भाई, तो ऑब्वियस बात है कि भाई आपको पढ़ना पड़ेगा ना पहले तो डिफरेंसेस उन दोनों के बीच में कि कैसे उसको इवॉल्व करना होता है. हाँ, टैग में इशू है, दैट इज आई अंडरस्टैंड द टैग वाला इशू. ठीक है, आप एक बार ड्रॉप करना मेरे को मेल, आप मेरे ईमेल पे. तो मैं थोड़ा सा मतलब टेक वाला पार्ट थोड़ा सा कमजोर है मेरा, एंड थ्योरी वाला पार्ट स्ट्रांग है मेरा, थ्योरी और प्रैक्टिकल वाला. तो बट एनीवे है ना, करते हैं, इसको भी सॉल्व करेंगे. सो two messages guys in the end. I just want you to max out your physical capabilities, मतलब जितना ज़्यादा कर सकते हो उतना अपने आप को push करो. And second is that try to do as many like मतलब वो बैठना तो ठीक है, but बैठना productive हो रहा है या नहीं वो भी matter करता है ना. अगर मैं बहुत सारी चीज़ें करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ तो वो नहीं हो पाएगा. तो it is like one subject खत्म करो फिर दूसरे वाला. And one last point, that's actually the second point. ये तो first point का part था. That is integrated videos को I think जो viewership है वो मतलब इंटीग्रेटेड को करना है भाई. मतलब इंटीग्रेटेड की स्लाइड से कुछ नहीं होने वाला. इट इज दैट इंटीग्रेटेड वीडियोस दैट आर प्रेजेंट वेयर लाइक द एंटायर कार्डियोवास्कुलर द एंटायर न्यूरोलॉजी सेक्शन हैज बीन कवर्ड. उसको आपने उसको सुनना है बिकॉज दैट हेल्प्स यू अंडरस्टैंड थिंग्स रिलेटिवली बेटर. सो आई थिंक इफ यू जस्ट पुट इन आवर्स, इफ यू पुट इन क्वेश्चंस एंड एट द सेम टाइम इफ you are able to do those integrated videos, you will be in a good position and a fighting position to integrated by integrated. Yes, it is the integrated videos that are to be focused at the moment. भाई सब कुछ नहीं कर सकते और आपने एक बारी में करा नहीं होगा, राइट? तो एक बारी में तो डिजीज आता ही नहीं है ना. अब मैं ये बोलूँगा, आप अगर मैं आपसे बोलूँ आपके वीक सब्जेक्ट्स क्या हैं तो बड़े सारे निकलेंगे ना. तो मतलब मैं पूछूंगा कि भाई न्यूक्लिक एसिड का कोई टेक्निकल या फिर लिपिड मेटाबॉलिज्म का टेक्निकल, तो लोगों ने बायोकेमिस्ट्री ध्यान से पढ़ी नहीं होती ना यार. उसने जो बायोकेमिस्ट्री इस बार दी है रिसेंट वाले एग्जाम में वो बहुत हाई स्टैंडर्ड की बायोकेमिस्ट्री पूछी उसमें, तो रूटीन से तो होता ही नहीं है बोली चीज़ें. तो आई थिंक दैट यू हैव टू लिसन टू सम पार्ट ऑफ द, मतलब मैं पूरा थोड़ी ना कह रहा हूँ कि सारा मेन वीडियो कर लो, बट देन सम टॉपिक्स इन द मेन वीडियो. सबसे न्यूक्लिक एसिड मेटाबॉलिज्म इज लाइक लोगों का गोल होता है ना. मेडिसिन में कार्डियो वाला पार्ट गोल होता है, इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स वाला पार्ट गोल होता है. तो वो वाले सारे कंपोनेंट्स को तो ठीक करना ही करना है ना. मतलब इट्स नॉट ओनली फॉरेंसिक मेडिसिन एंड डर्मा एंड इतना सा कर लेंगे तो हो जाएगा. एंड देन फार्माकोलॉजी इज समथिंग दैट वी हैव टू बी सुपर स्ट्रांग इन. वेदर यू लाइक द ड्रग्स, वेदर यू हेट द ड्रग्स, इट रियली डजंट मैटर. ड्रग्स हैव टू बी गुड कि भाई वही तो लिखोगे. आई मीन व्हेन यू गिव समबडी अ प्रिस्क्रिप्शन यू हैव टू बी गुड विद द ड्रग्स component, whether you like or dislike pharmacology. So there is no point of talking about demotivation at the moment. It is the time that you have at the moment that you need to maximize. बिकॉज टाइम तो सबके लिए ना. आपके जूनियर भी आ जाएंगे, बैचमेट्स भी आ जाएंगे. सो द स्पेस कीप्स ऑन गेटिंग क्राउडेड. सो इट इज लाइक व्हाट एम आई गोना बी डूइंग टुडे, व्हाट आई एम गोना बी डूइंग टुमारो, डे आफ्टर. इट इज द स्टेप्स दैट आई एम गोना टेक दैट्स गोना डिसाइड what would be the ultimate result, either on like the NEET PG part or what I'm gonna do today or next is gonna decide whatever is gonna happen in the January exam per se. So I think with these kind of inputs, if you are gonna keep on pushing yourself, then this would be a good way to, I would say, upgrade, as we call it in the current Gen Z language. Like you guys upgrade to a better version of phone, right? So similar way, like I am old man, so I carry the old phone with me all the time, and I'm used to the old phone. But like the current generation says, no man, upgrade us, Tama. So you just need to keep on upgrading, right? And the theory part will definitely not change. And a lot of people were like, oh, it is more difficult. No man, it is just that you have to read in more depth, and like just focusing on LRR or just focusing on the shortcuts would not be a very good idea. So just give it the best you got, and those would be the last words from my side for today. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope that the session would be productive, and do try to implement couple of the pointers that I've said in front of you. And I hope that even if you are able to implement one of them and you are able to upgrade your score by even a few percentage points, my day is made as a teacher. Thank you so much, guys. It was really fun interacting with you. And yep, you can drop your mails at my Gmail, that is marwahmedicine@gmail, or at Telegram, which wherever you are comfortable. Mail offers more privacy, where you can talk about your fears, and maybe you can talk about your personal aspects, where on a social media in front of everybody, a lot of people may not be comfortable with. So thank you, guys. God bless you. Take care and have a great day. Bye bye.